Today is a day to get stuff done. So it's been a busy few weeks with the release of Destiny 2 Forsaken, with the beginning of my photography season for the fall season. It has just been go, 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 go. And today I have kind of a forced day off because I got a cable guy coming. So I can't really stream because there's a cable guy coming. Now, this is a weird problem. Maybe you guys can help me out with this. Maybe you guys know how to diagnose this or how to explain the problem better than I can. But here's the issue with my cable right now, or my internet right now, is that if I run a speed test, the speed test looks fine. I'm getting 300 down and 30 up megabits per second, like I should be, like I'm paying for. But if I actually try to upload anything, let's say to Google Drive or to YouTube or to Twitch or basically any service, I max out at like 3.5 to 5 megabits per second, and it's really unsteady. It's like constantly going up and down, as opposed to, a couple of weeks ago, there's just no. So anyway, I got a cable guy coming. That's the moral of that story. I also have to clean this office up. I have been just working, and like you can see, there's like a stack of coffee cups over there. There's bottles. There's glasses. It's just time to kind of clean the office out a little bit. I got a couple projects recently. You can kind of see in the back. I recently changed the cables in my gaming PC to cable mod sleeved cables, which are awesome, but when I did that, I never put away any of the old cables. So the cables are just laying on the floor right in front of me. I got a camera out on the floor. I got all sorts of stuff just kind of hanging out. I just need to kind of do a quick clean of the office. I also got a new router. You can see it's a Netgear. I think it's the RT500 or something like that. It's got the Duma software on it, which allows you to like kind of monitor traffic, monitor IPs, monitor, how your connection is doing. It's a nice suite of software on this router, but I still need to set it up. Basically it's working right now, but there's a lot of setup that you need to do, like with the wireless connectivity. I don't like to run on the 5 gigahertz band. I don't find it's reliable in my house, so I run it on the 2.4 gigahertz band for just about every device. So I got to do all that kind of stuff, and I've got to actually go to UPS today because I recently upgraded Threadripper, which is my streaming PC, to a AMD 1950X. Now, it was currently running a 1900X. The difference between those two CPUs is one is an 8-core processor and one is a 16-core processor. So Threadripper now has a 16-core, 32-thread processor in it, and the differences are actually really surprising. So I'll make a video about that switch, probably over on the tech channel, the Briar on Tech channel, and the differences aren't what you would expect, but they're pretty dramatic. It's a surprising switchover. But the 8-core processor I'm actually sending back to Ryan from On Air PC. So he's going to use that he's building a 1 PC, 2 PC system, or a 1 case, 2 PC system. It's actually really interesting what he's doing. He's building 2 PCs in 1 case. So imagine a case just like this one, but instead of having 1 PC in it, there's 2 PCs. And one is going to be a streaming PC, and one is going to be a gaming PC, and he's going to use the 8-core Threadripper part for the streaming portion of that computer. So that's a really cool project. You can follow him over at, I think it's at On Air PC 1, and he's posting pictures of it and stuff like that. It's really a cool system. The case he bought alone is like $500 to have like 2 PCs in it. It's a Corsair case. I can't remember what it's called, but it's huge. It's like the size of a table. The thing is gigantic. So that's a really cool build he's working on. It's gonna be all custom water cooled and everything. So I gotta send him that processor today. I also need to run over to Best Buy. I need a couple of fans for my streaming system, the Threadripper, because what I've got in there are Corsair ML series fans, which are good fans, but they're loud, and like I don't know if maybe I can find something at Best Buy that'll run a little bit quieter. Maybe I just gotta order some Noctua fans. Probably what I should do is just order some Noctua fans and swap them out just to get that PC running just a little bit quieter. One of the things that I've found out with the 1950X is, well, I'll leave that for the review video when I talk about the streaming PC. So that's the plan today. I gotta clean the office. I gotta hang out with the cable guy a little bit and hopefully get this cable situation fixed, which, you know, frankly, I don't have a lot of hope for. I've been having problems with this internet connection since I moved here, frankly. It's been years, guys, like just constant problems with this internet connection. They fix it and it stays fixed for a couple of months and then it's back to being crap again. And, you know, like I respect the guys who are coming out here and fixing it, but good Lord, Cox Cable, like I just want a steady internet connection that works all the time. Like I don't think that's too much to ask. And the fact that I have to spend so much time working to get this internet connection fixed is really, it sucks, man. It just sucks. You might notice a new monitor behind me. I recently upgraded my gaming PC to a 144 or 165 hertz 1440 display, which I like. I'm not like head over heels with it, but I like it quite a bit. So I got to clean up some of that trash. That box is still sitting here. It's just been, you know, the last 3 weeks has just been crazy. So it's time to take a day, clean some stuff up, get the cable guy in here. Hopefully he can actually fix something and get over to UPS and send Ryan that processor. So let's start this journey. All right, just to kind of give you guys a feeling for what I'm talking about with Threadripper is you can see this is a water-cooled system with one of these Enermax Threadripper coolers. It's a 360 millimeter radiator with 3 fans. Those 3 fans aren't too bad. But there's 2 Corsair fans. One I kind of put up top, blowing down at the VRMs to keep the VRMs cool, because when I had the 8-core processor, I had the thing overclocked pretty hard. I don't know that that's actually necessary anymore because I'm not overclocking the 16-core processor. And then I've got another one of the Corsair fans in the back. These things, when they spin up, get pretty loud. Here, I'm going to actually run Ada 64, and you guys can hear it. So you can hear, once these things get going, it's not quiet, and I'd like it to be a lot quieter. So I'm actually thinking about eliminating that. This board, I can monitor the temperatures of the VRM pretty easily through software, so I'm not too worried about that. As long as that VRM stays within temps, I should be fine, and just eliminate that top fan. And this fan, I don't know, I'm just thinking about swapping out to something that is just quieter. These are great fans. They blow super hard. They evacuate a lot of air out of here. But, you know, they just are loud. You know, once they spin up, they are loud. And I don't like that in my office at all. So we're going to see if we can fix that today, too. So this XR500 gaming router that I got from Netgear has this Duma OS on it that I find to be pretty useful. It's got a lot of cool stuff on it. You can see this network snapshot where it actually shows you what's using basically the bandwidth of your network connection, a network overview. You can see the CPU usage of the router itself, geo filtering, anti-bluffer. It's got a ton of features. But right now the problem I'm having, and I have this problem because of my house, not necessarily because of the router, is that I don't really get good reception on 5 gigahertz anywhere in the house aside from like right next to the router. So we're gonna separate the 5 gigahertz and the 2.4 gigahertz so that you can actually select which band you want to be on. So we're gonna go to wireless setup here, and we're just gonna uncheck enable smart connect. So there's 2 different basically Wi-Fi connections. One is going to be 2.4, one is going to be 5, and that should fix that up. So like on an iPhone or something that like a Roku that's far away from the router, I can choose the 2.4 gigahertz, and for something that's close to the router, I could choose the 5 gigahertz. But I just don't get good reception in my house from 5 gigahertz basically anywhere. So we're just going to hit apply there. And that should fix us up. That way you can just select which network you want to be on. And for the most part, I just select 2.4 for everything. The 5 gigahertz just doesn't go through walls as well as the 2.4. So I find that things disconnect more frequently. If you guys would like to see a review on this router, I find this router to be pretty interesting. It's still brand new, so like I don't have a good feel for how good it is. I am very impressed by the software though. This is all just a web-based software, so you just log into it and you can adjust all the settings from there. But I do like a lot of the cool features to it, and it's very easy to work with. Although it can be a little bit slow because it's not like an app or anything. It's actually web-based. So you're basically seeing a web page generated by the router. Interesting conversation happening in the Destiny community revolving around a streamer who basically attacked the Destiny 2 community about the Crucible and how it now plays, specifically about special ammo and the faster time to kill. You know, in Destiny 2, when it launched, there was an emphasis on longer time to kills and, you know, primary gunfights, and the community, not overwhelmingly, but a lot of people in the community, a lot of very vocal parts of the community said, you know, we want some of that fast time to kill back. We want some of those hero moments back in Destiny 2. And Bungie responded by, you know, adding special weapons to the energy slot, and you know, now you start with shotgun ammo, you start with sniper rifle ammo, with fusion rifle ammo. There's a lot more opportunities for one-shot kills, and one of the things you see about, one of the results you see from that in the Crucible is a lot of people running around with shotguns, and that's to be expected. If you make shotguns really good, you know, they can one-shot kill, then you're gonna see a lot of people doing them because, you know, they're a fairly easy thing to do. But instead of talking about all that, this person just attacked the community. Said, you guys are idiots for asking for this. This is dumb. This community is trash. You know, like that kind of thing. It's not a direct quote. The problem with that is that, you know, you don't solve anything by doing that, right? Is you alienate everybody you're arguing with. You can't have a productive argument if you attack the arguer as opposed to the argument. You know, for instance, you know, it's a tried and true tactic. It's not like a new thing that people did, you know, when the internet started. It's always happened. Like, you look at trials, you know, when there's a witness that comes into a trial, they try and discredit the witness. You know, if they can't specifically refute what the witness is saying, then they try and discredit the witness, and that's an attempt to explain to the judge or the jury that, you know, it doesn't matter what this person is saying, they're not to be trusted. And an argument is the same way, right? Is if you attack the arguer, you're basically trying to discredit the arguer as opposed to the argument. And I suppose you could win an argument that way, but not against the arguer. You're never gonna win an argument one-on-one by discrediting that person. You might do it in other people's eyes, but it's just not a productive way to go about things. You're never going to enhance a conversation that way. You're never going to be a productive member of a community that way, because you're just, all your effort is going into trashing people and into pulling them down, where as opposed to attacking an argument, you know, explaining why, you know, shotguns or special ammo is too plentiful and the time to kill is too quick, and you know, the PvP was better in year 1 than year 2, you know, that can start a conversation that people can interact with, whereas just calling the community trash right off the bat, that's not going to start a conversation other than this guy is not worth talking to. You know, it's not at all worth interacting with this person because of the place where the conversation started to begin with. So Best Buy was a big strikeout. They had no fans that would really suit my situation. Best Buy has been kind of slowly expanding their PC parts, but it's still somewhat lacking. So I've got two options. I could drive down to Micro Center, which I really don't have time for. That's a good hour and a half each way, so it's a good 3 hours round trip, which I definitely don't have time for. Or just order them on Amazon. I'll probably just order a couple of fans on Amazon. Just go with the Noctuas that I've been fairly happy with in the past, and move on with that project. So it's been a while since I've talked about the new car. Many of you may know that I was asking a lot on Twitter and on the podcast, you know, what new car should I buy? I don't know. And I did end up buying a 2018 Honda Accord 2-liter turbo sport edition with a manual transmission, which is surprising to some people because I was coming off of a Honda Accord that I hated. It wasn't that I hated it. It was a very practical car. It was a very sensible car. It was the car that I bought when I traded in my Jeep Wrangler. I had a Jeep Wrangler when I got married, 2-door, that I absolutely adored, but it just didn't make sense for a family. You know, I got married. With the marriage, my wife had 2 kids, and you know, suddenly I needed a car that made more sense as a family. So I went with the Honda Accord. I'd never really done any research on, you know, 4-door cars. I'd never thought about buying one. And I didn't want to spend a lot because I didn't drive a lot. I don't drive a lot. I think over the course of owning that car for 3 years, I think I put 14,000 miles on it, you know, total. But when I was looking to replace that, it was a 3-year lease. You know, I kind of I knew I wanted something that I was going to enjoy a little bit more. The Honda Accord served its time well, and it was a perfectly good car. It was just so boring, and I just didn't like being in it at all. So when I test drove a Accord Sport 2018, I was really impressed by it. It's a lot more fun. It's got a lot more power. It handles a lot better. It's a more sporty looking car than the old one. The old one looked good and respectable and business-like. The new one's a little more fun. It looks like a fastback. It's a little more sporty. It's got 19-inch wheels, a manual transmission. It's very fun to drive. I feel much more connected to the car than having, you know, a CVT transmission that just kind of plods along at a reasonable speed. It's really kind of ignited my love of driving again, and that's been a lot of fun. I'm really impressed with this car.